Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the most secretive organization in your country has been hiding a dark past filled with deceit, illegal activities, and mind-bending experiments. Welcome to the world, to the CIA Family Jewels. Today we're deep diving into these declassified documents that expose the worst thing that the CIA did behind the Americans' people back. In 1973, amid growing public distrust, the CIA's then director, James Schlesinger, ordered a comprehensive review of the agency's questionable activities. A nearly 700-page compilation of the operations so secretive and scandalous were dubbed the Family Jewels. Those documents were declassified decades later, and they reveal the darkest secrets of an agency gone rogue. The story begins in the turbulent 1970s, a time of political upheaval and social change. Schlesinger worried about the agency's integrity and demanded answers. What he got was a Pandora box of illegal surveillance, assassination plots, and human experimentation. The Family Jewels were meant to stay hidden, but in 2007, they saw the light of day and shocked the entire US nation. First, let's talk assassination. Yes, the CIA actively plotted to kill foreign leaders, from Cuba's Fidel Castro to Congo's Patrice Lumumba and the Dominican Republic's Rafael Trujillo. The agency wasn't just gathering intelligence, they were eliminating obstacles and threats they deemed important for the sake of national security interest. For Fidel Castro, they devised multiple bizarre methods, including exploding cigars, poison pills, even a plan to make his beard fall out to undermine his image. Despite numerous attempts, Castro remained unscathed, surviving hundreds of assassination plots. In the Congo, the CIA saw Patrice Lumumba, the country's first prime minister, as a communist threat. They plotted his murder, but before they could act, he was killed by local rivals. The CIA involvement in his death remains a subject of intense controversy. Rafael Trujillo, the dictator of the Dominican Republic, was another target. The CIA provided weapons opponents leading to his assassination in 1961. While the agency didn't pull the trigger, their fingerprints were all over the plot. Next, we dive into the surveillance on American soil, Operation Chaos, and other programs spied on anti-war activists, civil rights leaders, and journalists. The CIA, supposed to operate internationally, turned its eye inward, violating the very principles it was meant to protect. One of the most notorious operations, Project MK Naomi, a joint effort with the Department of Defense to develop and stockpile biochemical weapons. While not used domestically, it underscored the lengths to which the CIA would go in the name of national security. Another example is the surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders. Under COINTELPRO, the FBI with the CIA assistance monitored, harassed, and attempted to discredit King, viewing him as a threat to national security. Imagine your every move watched, every conversation recorded, without your knowledge. To remind you, Martin Luther King was an American citizen, so they just undermined his constitutional rights of privacy. Now, brace yourself for the bizarre world of MK Ultra. In the name of national security, the CIA conducted mind control experiments on unwitting civilians. LSD, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation were just a few methods used. One infamous case involved Frank Olson, a CIA scientist who was unwittingly dosed with LSD. Olson experienced severe psychological distress and ultimately fell to his death from a hotel window under mysterious circumstances. His family believes he was murdered to prevent him from revealing what he knew. In Canada, Dr. Ewan Cameron conducted a brutal psychiatric experiments on patients at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, funded by the CIA. These experiments involved massive doses of LSD, electroconvulsive therapy, and prolonged sensory deprivation. Many patients suffered lasting damage, and some have never recovered. Lives were ruined, and some victims never even knew they were part of a twisted science project. The scale and audacity of these experiments are almost beyond belief. Illegal break-ins, wiretapping, and mail tampering, standard operations for a rogue agency. The CIA involvement in domestic espionage didn't just blur the lines of legality, it shattered them. One of the most infamous operations was Project Mockingbird, an effort to influence the media and spread propaganda within the United States and to knowingly deceived the American people. This was Project Mockingbird. The CIA recruited journalists and editors from major news organizations to act as spies and propagandists. The manipulation of the press undermined American journalism is supposed to be the leader of free will, free speech, and truth. And the CIA infiltrated these media organizations to spread propaganda within America. Operation Midnight Climax was another shocking example, where the CIA set up a safe house in San Francisco and New York to study the effects of LSD on unwitting citizens of America. Prostitutes on the CIA payroll lured men into these locations, where they were secretly drugged and observed behind one-way mirrors. These operations were a part of a broader effort to understand and control human behavior through drugs. The agency also played a role in Watergate, the Watergate scandal, providing technical support for the break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters. This involvement, though indirect, highlighted the CIA's willingness to engage in politically motivated activities. The CIA domestic spying program, HT Lingual, intercepted and opened the mail of American citizens suspected of communist ties. Over 215,000 letters were illegally opened and photographed, a blatant violation of privacy and the American constitutional right for its citizens. When the family Jews were finally exposed, the reaction was explosive. Congressional hearings, public outcry, and a demand for accountability led to significant reforms. The Church Committee investigation resulted in sweeping changes, aiming to rein in the CIA and restore trust. The creation of a Foreign Intelligence Service Act, FISA, and the Intelligence Oversight Act were direct results of these revelations. But did it work? Does these committees do anything? Are they still at play? The shadows of these revelations is still looms large. The Iran-Contra affair in the 1980s and recent controversies over surveillance programs show that the struggle for transparency and accountability continues. The CIA still does corrupt things. It will never stop doing this. So what have we learned? The Family Jews reminds us that transparency and accountability are not just ideals, they are necessities. The CIA darker secrets were dragged into the light, but the fight for truth and justice continues. Stay informed, stay vigilante, and remember, power unchecked is power abused. Thank you for watching. If you found this video enlightening, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the CIA, American history, and just informative content. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.